President Rooney, Provost Callahan, Dean Tuckman, Dean Newell, officers of the university, guests of honor, members of the faculty and administration, candidates for graduation, honored guests and celebrants, welcome to the 152nd Annual Commencement of Loyola University Chicago for the School of Education and the School of Environmental Sustainability. As we begin, let us pause for a moment to draw our attention to the university's land acknowledgement statement, both on screen and on the inside front cover of your program, honoring the heritage of the grounds we walk. Now, will everyone who is able please stand as the Loyola Wind Ensemble plays the National Anthem. We ask that you remain standing until after the invocation is given. It is now my privilege to present Brother Mark Mackey of the Society of Jesus and lecturer in the School of Environmental Sustainability, who will give the invocation.
Let us begin by remembering that we are in the presence of God. Let us remember that this same God in our presence is the creator of the cosmos, of galaxies, of stars, and of our beloved blue-green planet. The same creator of forests and streams, tulips and crayfish, and all of the Earth's biodiversity and its systems. May we humbly remember that we are connected to the rest of these, inextricably linked and dependent upon them. And moving forward, may we be both better kin and better stewards. Let us continue to recall we are in the presence of our God, the one whom St. Ignatius said, taught him in the way a schoolmaster teaches a child. May we have Ignatius's humility to be lifelong learners and open to growth, even after we ourselves have become teachers and leaders. And may we use education as the transformative tool that we know it can be. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and pray that our future students make this easy for us. And finally, let us remember that this same God of the cosmos, this God of creation, this same God who teaches and enlightens us, is the God of love. So in gratitude, let's recall the people in our lives who have helped bring us love, and as a result, helped to bring us here today. Parents, professors, counselors, friends. Let us be grateful for their sacrifices and the way they have said yes to God's invitation to love. And moving forward, may we have the grace, strength, and courage to do the same. Amen.
Everyone, please be seated. It is now my honor to introduce Dr. Joanne Rooney, President of Loyola University, Chicago.
Good morning, everyone. That's great. On behalf of the students, faculty, staff, and trustees of Loyola University Chicago, and our worldwide network of alumni, family, and friends, welcome to the graduation ceremony for the School of Education and the School of Environmental Sustainability, and this, the 2022 annual commencement for Loyola University Chicago. This year, we celebrate more than 5,000 graduates over 11 ceremonies in one joy-filled week. Being able to celebrate together this year adds an extra level of excitement to an already momentous occasion. Following many months of constant adjustment, isolating solitude, remote learning, and virtual ceremonies, we have learned not to take some of the most basic things for granted, such as joining together as community, or exchanging face-to-face greetings, or sharing that special hug. I extend heartfelt congratulations to all of our graduates, and the warmest wishes to all of the families, friends, and loved ones joining with us today. Despite the uncertainties and countless challenges you encountered during this global pandemic, you have adapted and persevered. With resolve and resilience, you continue to connect, to learn, and to care for each other. You navigated constant changes while supporting one another and worked hard as you completed your degrees. This is the real definition of being Jesuit educated. Of course, there were countless difficult moments and even periods filled with doubt. But we have all been inspired by your resilience, creativity, and determination as you navigated so much change and uncertainty. Yet through it all, we have a renewed appreciation that we are all in this together, and none of us can accomplish great things alone. Let us take this moment to appreciate each other, students, families, faculty, and staff, for the many ways you lifted up one another, persevered, and leaned into a greater goal and the greater good. Let's show our appreciation through applause for each other. At this Jesuit Catholic university, we understand that there is no learning without love, no success without kindness, no scholarship without accompaniment. There is no justice without mercy, no reason without faith, and no healing without hope. Our coming together today is a collective act of hope and of love. We come from many backgrounds and celebrate as one achievements across many fields. We connect not only to mark this milestone, but to affirm as a community our commitment to the values of Jesuit education, civil discourse, deeper understanding, greater justice achieved through education, research, and service to others, and seeking and seeing God in all things. To this class of 2022, as you transition from students to graduates, It is important to recognize that it is your calling, your responsibility to apply these values across a world that is in need of hope, commitment to action, and leaders like you. But for right now, at this moment, let us focus on the present. It is time to celebrate and commence.
It is now my pleasure to present Dr. Marquita Newell, Interim Dean of the School of Education.
President Rooney, Provost Callahan, guests of honor, esteemed members of the School of Education and School of Environmental Sustainability faculty, staff, and administration, family members and friends, and most importantly, our graduates. It is my distinct honor to welcome you all to this celebration of our class of 2022 graduates. This year is unique in that we welcome the doctoral graduates of the classes of 2020 and 2021 who were unable to attend commencement those years, to join our entire class of 2022 in celebrating their accomplishments. I wish to thank our president, Dr. Joanne Rooney, Provost Callahan, and our student speaker, Patricia Therese Valbuena, for joining us here today. Thanks also to the Loyola Wind Ensemble and all those who worked behind the scenes to orchestrate this wonderful ceremony. Graduates, we come together today to not only honor and recognize your wonderful academic achievements, but we also come together to say, you are ready. The faculty, staff, and your peers have collectively prepared you to go out and make our world a little better than how you found it, to create more just and fair systems, to find solutions when the problems seem insurmountable, and to be there for others when it appears that all is lost. You are not only prepared to do this, but in each of you lies a hope-filled future. The world around us can be so dark at times. We continually witness racial injustices, lack of access to high-quality education, climate crises, wars, and so much more. But I find peace in you. I know that we will be better because of the hard work, service, and sacrifices you will make. So as we congratulate you on the work that you have already done, we thank you in advance for the work that you will do. On behalf of the School of Education and the School of Environmental Sustainability faculty and staff, congratulations, graduates. Go out and set the world on fire. I would now like to present Dr. Nancy Tuckman, Founding Dean of the School of Environmental Sustainability.
Thank you, Marquita. President Rooney, Provost Callahan, university dignitaries, guests of honor, School of Education faculty and staff, School of Environmental Sustainability faculty and staff, our keynote speaker, Michelle Rabkin, and our student speaker, Matthew Owen Lorenz, and most importantly, of course, the graduates and your families. Today we celebrate the graduating class of the School of Education and the School of Environmental Sustainability. And this year, for the School of Environmental Sustainability, there are 142 graduates, which is pretty big for us. We're kind of new. These students are students who are agents of change for a cleaner, healthier, more just and sustainable world. They understand the obligatory interdependence of human well-being and a healthy natural world. They have developed knowledge in the science, policy, ethics, and economics of nature, and have demonstrated their entrepreneurial talents in developing solutions to environmental problems. They also have developed civic engagement and Ignatian leadership skills as critical tools for affecting change. All of this during a 2-year and counting COVID pandemic and the ruthless war on Ukraine. And what's most inspiring is their dogged commitment to putting their knowledge and skills to work to help build a more just, sustainable, and hope-filled future. To the School of Environmental Sustainability's graduates and to all Loyola graduates in this auditorium, I wish you the wisdom to recognize and value, above all, what is true, just, and good. The courage to remain true to your values in the face of challenge and adversity. And a love of life that continues to inspire you to work in the service of God, creation, and humanity. A special thank you to the Loyola University Wind Ensemble and all those who have worked to put on this ceremony today. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the School of Environmental Sustainability, I congratulate you on your graduation from Loyola and wish you the best of luck with your very promising futures. Thank you.
With pleasure, I present Patricia Therese Valbuena, candidate for the degree Bachelor of Science in Education, who will offer some remarks on behalf of the graduates of the School of Education.
Good morning, Dr. Rooney, Provost Callahan, Deans Newell and Tuckman, faculty, staff, friends, graduates, and honored guests. It is an honor to speak to you today. To my peers, congratulations on graduating. Your hard work and dedication were all worth it. For many of us, the Jesuit vision to seek new knowledge in the service of humanity in a diverse learning community that values freedom of inquiry, the pursuit of truth, and care for others brought us to Loyola. Whether we studied bilingual education, counseling psychology, higher education, research methods, or environmental sustainability, our work at Loyola shaped our understanding of the responsibility we have. Over the last 2 years, we came to value and appreciate the ideals of the Jesuit mission to an even greater extent as the world faced the COVID-19 pandemic. We learned the theories, models, and methodologies that are fundamental to our various disciplines. However, the commitment to social justice, community responsiveness, and hopeful resilience fostered here will now be our greatest assets in our careers and lives beyond Loyola. As education majors, my peers and I worked in partnership with schools throughout Chicago. We saw the School of Education's mission come to life as we learned how to advance equity in education in service of social justice. Our work at schools like Gowdy, Kilmer, Ogden, and Taft allowed us to participate in the discovery, development, demonstration, and dissemination of professional knowledge. We came to understand our responsibility to create meaningful change in our students' lives, and we leave Loyola ready to cultivate fair and equitable classroom environments where students learn to share and value multiple perspectives. The pandemic amplified the call for all of us to recognize and address social injustices in whatever form it takes. However, working alongside them and their community to determine how their voices, stories, and perspectives can be prioritized is even more powerful. Perhaps the most important quality we have developed over the last several years is a firmly established, hopeful resilience and resourcefulness. We had to navigate the obstacles and challenges of learning through a pandemic ourselves as students. We've learned through periods of quarantine, isolation, and weak Wi-Fi signals. We witnessed teachers, school psychologists, counselors, and community groups transform their practice to serve students and families online. We saw schools and districts develop creative ways to provide students and families with academic and social supports, such as drive-by birthday celebrations and to-go and lunch options. We learned that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, and we were inspired by the lengths of teachers, administrators, social workers, and so many others that connected and built relationships across the digital divide. Our persistent efforts to develop and refine our work was rewarded this year with a return to our placements in the community where we worked and learned from experienced teachers. When we doubt or question our readiness to do our work, let's remember why we started down the path we have chosen. While our academic journey here at Loyola has come to a close, the friendship and relationships that were created here move forward with us. The people here with us today would cheer alongside us when we succeed and help us when we fall. Our work is necessary and crucial, and we are the ones who will take up this important work and teach the next generation. I am confident that we are well prepared to help build a future that prioritizes equity, justice, and peace. Our impact on the world and others is greater than we think. Thank you to our families and loved ones who support us on this journey and those who continue to support us in the next chapter of our lives. Thank you to my family and friends who always believed in me. I love you so much. To my students, thank you for reminding me that the work that I do is important. To my younger self, who was a shy and scared girl who just immigrated to the US. Your dreams of graduating from college have come true. Good luck to everyone on the road ahead. Be safe and enjoy this joyful day. Thank you so much. Salamat.
With pleasure, I present Matthew Owen Lorenz, candidate for the degree Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, who will offer some remarks on behalf of the graduates of the School of Environmental Sustainability.
Good morning, Dr. Rooney, Provost Callahan, Deans Tuckman and Newell. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak today on behalf of the School of Environmental Sustainability graduating students. When was the last time you took in a deep and full breath? Not a half-hearted, shallow sip of air that leaves your body as an unenthusiastic sigh. Not one plagued by anxieties of what is coming next. A breath that fills your lungs to the brim, raises your shoulders toward the sky, and slows down your heartbeat in serenity. I invite you to take a moment now and do so with me. Find your feet on the floor, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. You just inhaled the universe. 13.7 billion years ago, the universe was born in a rapid expansion of space and time. What started as nothing became everything. Gravity's pull turned clouds of dust into stars, which in their incredible display of energy formed oxygen, the very thing that entered your lungs a second ago. 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth was formed and life appeared 1 billion years after that. A mere 200,000 years ago, modern humans appeared and spread across the world. Languages and cultures formed, civilizations rose and fell. And all of that led us to where we are today, sitting in Gentile Arena, ready to graduate from this place we have called our home. Whoa. How often do we allow ourselves to break the monotony of the day and stand in total wonder of our lives? Granted, we have been busy, dedicating our weekends to restoring our retreat and ecology center, working hours on end to improve the Loyola experience through SGLC, and spending evenings hunched over a laboratory bench researching microbes. No wonder we haven't found a moment to breathe. But as our time at Loyola comes to an end, let the galactic breath that fills our lungs remind us of our connections to others, to the common grackles that soar outside the SES, or to Lake Michigan and its vast ecosystem, to the Student Environmental Alliance, SEED, and all the other organizations we have labored with and loved, and of course, to our families, our friends, our mentors, and the generations to come. This same energy, this same air has been cycling and transmitting between each and every one of us. And now, whether we call this connection God or Gaia, a creative spirit, or something else entirely, this makes up our very being. And I believe this energy and connection is what brought us to this place in our lives, to Loyola and to the School of Environmental Sustainability. This is why we marched with the masses at the global climate strike in 2019, demanding climate action. This is why we forged relationships with native species through ecological restoration. And this is why we fought and fight for the environmentally responsible and socially just investment of our endowment. And this is what will guide us as we continue on. Over an average human lifetime, we're estimated to take roughly 672,768,000 breaths, give or take a couple in there. The fragility of these breaths has been showcased in our time at Loyola, threatened by pandemics of racial injustice, disease, and senseless war. We've seen how they can be used to spread hate and disinformation at the expense of the vulnerable. But knowing this astounding fact that we're all made of shared stardust that has traveled through our galaxy, we ought to use our collective breaths to sow seeds of hope and justice. We might even transform them into millions and millions of thank yous. Here's a start. Thank you, President Rooney, Provost Callahan, and Dean Tuckman, for the opportunity to speak today. Thank you to my family, my friends, my mentors, for your never-ending support throughout this journey. And class of 2022, thank you for sharing your talent, your wisdom, and your passion with me and with the world. Thank you.
It is now my great honor to introduce our commencement keynote speaker, Michelle Rabkin. Michelle Rabkin has worked in the fields of education and environmental science for 2 decades, first as a Chicago Public Schools teacher, and more recently as the Vice President of Education at the Chicago Academy of Sciences Peggy Nodebart Nature Museum, a wonderful science education resource here in Chicago. Ms. Rabkin is a graduate of Northwestern University, where she earned a bachelor's degree in English Literature and History, and National Louis University, where she earned a master's degree in elementary education. We are especially pleased to have Ms. Rabkin here today, as she embodies the amalgamation of 2 callings that all of us in this room hold dear: education and environmental sustainability. Ms. Rabkin's work stands at the crossroads of education and environmental advocacy as a lever of social change. At the heart of this work is her belief that urban ecosystems are rich, complex, and essential, not only for conservation, but for teaching and learning too. Currently, at the Peggy Nodebart Nature Museum, she oversees cross-institutional and cross-department partnerships and leads an education department that has served nearly 800,000 students and over 15,000 teachers over the past 12 years. Additionally, she was appointed to the leadership team of the Chicago Wilderness Priority Species Initiative to help protect monarch butterfly populations, and served as the United Nations delegate to the World Forum on Urban Forests. At this time, I ask you to help me welcome Michelle Rabkin to the podium.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that very generous introduction, and thanks to the really inspiring student speakers that went before me. Dr. Rooney, Provost Callahan, Deans Tuckman and Newell, members of the faculty and administration, guests, graduates, thank you for inviting me here today. It is my honor to be able to speak to you. I wanted to start by sending a huge congratulations to all of the graduates. I know that your journey to get here today has been full of joys and challenges, experiences you looked forward to when you enrolled, and ones you never saw coming. But you made it, and you have achieved remarkable things here at Loyola. I also wanted to say congratulations to the many family members, friends, teachers, and supporters who helped you all along the way. I can see many of them beaming with pride in the audience, and I can imagine how much of a difference they made during this formative time in your education amidst a global pandemic. Let's take a second to give them a wave or a shout, send them a text, or if you're allowed to do that, or just think in your mind about the people you're most grateful for on this journey to graduation during such a unique moment in history. Yeah, I see you guys waving. Do it. Awesome. I have been invited here today because, as you heard, much of my career has been at the intersection of education and environmental science. Because I've spent so much time working with educators, environmental scientists, and those like me who bridge the gap as environmental educators, I've had so many opportunities to reflect on what is so wonderful and unique about each of these fields. Today, I'm here to focus on the similarities that bring them together. And I hope to share my observations of a few fundamental and overlapping characteristics of the educators and environmental scientists who are deeply, deeply engaged and joyful in their work and who are making a big impact. So first, they let interest drive achievement. In other words, they let their values and passions drive their careers. A few years ago, I read a study led by psychologist and neuroscientist Lang Chen about elementary school students and the impact of interest on achievement. And in this study, the researchers found that having a positive attitude about learning was connected to better functions of the memory centers in the brain. So in other words, the students' brains worked better when they were interested in the learning they were doing. And I think that this study's ultimate finding was that positive attitudes contributed to achievements just as much as IQ did. This is a great reminder to us that the way we feel about the work we're doing directly impacts our cognitive abilities and our levels of achievement. So when educators and environmental scientists like you center their passions and values in their career choices, they do better work. You may be sitting here thinking that you should have your career planned out now that you've graduated. But I can assure you that that is not the way typical career trajectories happen for educators and professionals in environmental fields. I have worked with thousands of educators and scientists, and each one has a story about a time their career took a turn as they followed a new interest, found a new mentor, or discovered an opportunity in an unexpected place to apply their knowledge and skills. Your degrees from Loyola aren't just training for a particular type of job. Instead, your education here has helped you develop a deep set of skills and core values that have prepared you to continue choosing over and over throughout your career to follow your interests. A second thing I've noticed about educators and environmental scientists who find joy in their work is that they know their why. In other words, they have a deep sense for why their work is important. One of the most popular environmental education texts I discuss with my students and colleagues is an essay called Beyond Ecophobia, Reclaiming the Heart in Nature Education, and it's written by David Sobel. In this essay, one of the most enduring ideas is Sobel's statement that if we want children to flourish, to become truly empowered, let us allow them to love the earth before we ask them to save it. This statement is a commentary on using age-appropriate educational approaches and conservation psychology practices, but I don't think that that's why it sticks out. I think this part of Sobel's essay really resonates so strongly with my students and colleagues because it makes them question their why. Initially, many of us think our why is to save the natural world, fix its problems, and convince others to join us. But when they read this essay, they realize that their why is actually a deeper value, a love and care for the natural world, and that their approaches to reaching others should focus on fostering this same love and connection for them. You've probably had many experiences at Loyola where you were challenged to think about your own why. There will be moments in your life and career where you realize that your why has changed, or where you lose sight of your guiding stars when you're in the thick of doing the work. But the best way to continue to hone your why is to be curious and a lifelong learner, building off of what you've started right here at Loyola. All of you share a mission-driven purpose for social responsibility. And no matter what your next step is, or your 10th step after that, you can continue to make choices that center this value. Third, they value complexity. I can see one example of this principle in the work of my conservation biology colleagues who study local butterfly species and work to help their populations rebound. When they start working with a new species, they don't just repeat the same approach that they've used before. Instead, they connect with colleagues, study other species, and build a conservation plan around the unique needs of the new species. So if you came to the Peggy Note of Art Nature Museum and you visited our butterfly conservation lab, you would see that the swamp meadowlarks, the regal fritillaries, the Baltimore checker spot caterpillars, they are all treated differently and in different types of habitats. And the same is true in education too. Every student or learning environment is different, and it's our job as educators to approach them individually and uniquely to meet their needs. So both in teaching and in solving environmental issues, our best work doesn't follow a copy-paste recipe. And that's because there is never one right way that applies across all situations. I've seen over and over again in both science and education that when people recognize the complexity of the situation, they are better able to match their approach to the task, like my conservation biology colleagues have done, and they are better able to foster inclusive environments that honor the personal experiences, worldviews, strengths, and traditions of every student, community member, and colleague. The skills and mindsets that you've built over the last few years in the dynamic personal, academic, and world environments you've navigated have definitely prepared you to embrace the complex solutions for a complex and nuanced context. Finally, an underlying idea across all of these characteristics is to stay hopeful. All successful social movements I can think of share an underlying value, a commitment to the belief that change is possible. This underlying belief in the power of people to work for good echoes some of Loyola's enduring values and Jesuit traditions, including the prominence of ethics, social responsibility, global solidarity, and the combination of faith and reason throughout all aspects of the university and its work. Through these values and experiences, each of you is already a deep part of a culture that takes responsibility in the world and believes in the potential for positive change. These forward-looking qualities are exactly what we need most in the fields of education and sustainability as we tackle age-old challenges around justice, equity, effectiveness, inclusion, innovation, and shifting old practices that don't stand up to current contexts, goals, and needs. Thank you so much for the opportunity to join you in your celebration of your incredible achievements. And I can't wait to see the impacts of all of the things you will do next. I have so much faith in your future. Congratulations.
The candidates for the Doctor of Education degree from the School of Education will now be presented. Dean Marquita Newell will make the recommendations to President Rooney, who in turn will confer the degrees. I would like to invite President Rooney and Dean Newell to the podium.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Education degree from the School of Education please rise? President Rooney, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Education, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Doctor of Education. The candidates have fulfilled all requirements for their degrees, and I recommend that the degrees be conferred upon them.
Candidates, upon the recommendation of the Dean of the School of Education and its faculty, and by the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois, and delegated to me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I confer upon you the Doctor of Education degree for which you have been recommended. Congratulations.
The candidates for the doctoral degree in education will now come forward to be recognized by name. Nancy Goldberger, Assistant Dean of the School of Education, will read the names of the candidates. One of our long-standing traditions is to have each of our graduates shake the hands of the president and dean as they walk across the stage accepting their diploma. This year, out of an abundance of caution and respect for our graduates and their guests at each of our ceremonies throughout the week, we ask that you forego the customary handshake and instead exchange verbal greetings. Thank you for your understanding. Family and friends, please remain in your seats and hold your applause until the end of each degree group. Guests are not permitted to approach the stage to take photographs. Thank you for your cooperation.
The relationship between the doctoral candidate and the dissertation or capstone director is of central importance to the candidate's progress through the dissertation and development as an independent scholar. In recognition of this unique relationship, the candidate will be hooded on stage by their director. Kathleen Marie Berry. Lindsay Rose. Yuritsi Chavez. Angela R. Dolezal. Adam Douglas Smeets. Michael Christopher Field. Timothy John Gallo. Dawn Marie Gates Hill. Julie Ann McGlade. Lucille Melchert. John F. Newman III. Tanner Osterman. Corey William Overstreet. Anne Marie Scully. Kathleen E. Speth. Joseph Joachim Stephenson. Alma Christina Tamayo. Rita Balaporia. Kathleen Erin Kavanaugh. Molly Marie Escobar. Jacqueline Eileen Estrada. Robin J. Vanoy. Yesenia Favela. Inez Weber Maynard. Abby Weinstein. Sharon K. Perry. Sanita Sanjay-Valle. James Edward Stuckey. Christina Ann Tansey. Ricardo Camacho. Zanu Alvin Gordon. Karen Shane Lipinski. Amy Heath Sharp Patnode. Daphne Claire Perry. Amanda Vanderwall. Mary Elizabeth Worcester. Amy J. Catapan. Sheldon Kell Krieger. Elwanda Denise Butler. Catherine Elizabeth Cahill. Elizabeth H. Labarge. Jennifer Lynn Sanders. Monique Carradine. Sophia Covington Morales. Jillian McNamara. Janice Annette Nicholson. Tierra Michelle Bland. Tiffany Amanda Farrow. Candace McLaughlin Hartreniff. Dominique K. Potts. Karina Rachel Robinson. Abigail Salette. Victoria Lynn Schwarz. Tyrone D. Wheeler. Dr. Evan Simone Harper. Tiambe Bisa Kendrick Dunn. Jody Pinkerton. Marcellus J. Moore. Joseph K. Michael Kendrick. Lisa Marie Rieger. Congratulations, graduates.
The candidates for the Education Specialist degree will now be presented. Dean Newell will make the recommendations to President Rooney, who in turn will confer the degrees.
Will the candidates for Education Specialist degree please rise? President Rooney, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Education, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the Education Specialist degree. The candidates have fulfilled all the requirements for the degree, and I recommend that the degree be conferred upon them.
Candidates, upon the recommendation of the Dean of the School of Education and its faculty, and by the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois, and delegated to me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I confer upon you the Education Specialist degree for which you have been recommended. As a sign of your new academic status, please don your hoods. And congratulations, graduates.
The candidates for Education Specialist degree will now come forward as directed by marshals to be recognized by name. We ask that you please hold your applause until all graduates have been recognized. Receiving the degree of Education Specialist, Rebecca Mary Anderson. Abby Castro. Hei In Chung. Shamaya Renea Clark. Susanna Maria Deschamps. Megan Genevieve Durbin. Valerie Quinn Glossop. Christina Grande. Miriam Zanib Hake. Alexis D. Lane. Eileen Mena. Ashley Prosecki Panzatopoulos. Emily Rovera. Elizabeth Sanchez. Caitlin Nicolette Smigelski. Sophia Travin. Lindsay Marie Vander A. Javier Villanueva. Janelle Elise Waisisco. Congratulations, graduates.
The candidates for the Master of Education will now be presented. Dean Newell will make the recommendations to President Rooney, who in turn will confer the degrees.
Will the candidates for the master's degrees from the School of Education please rise? President Rooney, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Education, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the master's degrees, including the Master of Education. The candidates have fulfilled all the requirements for their degrees, and I recommend that the degrees be conferred upon them.
Candidates, upon the recommendation of the Dean of School of Education and its faculty, and by the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois, and delegated to me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I confer upon you the master's degree for which you have been recommended. As a sign of your new academic status, please don your hoods. And congratulations!
The candidates for the Master of Education will now come forward to be recognized by name as directed by the marshals. Candidates who have not yet been taken out of their rows may be seated again.
Receiving the degree of Master of Education, Irene Alfaro. Mildred Joan Arbello. Aman Arshad. Sonia Mercedes Avendano. Adriana Margarita Avina. Brittany Bennington. Christina Berger. Marie Kate Berrigan. Victoria Bilskete. Paul Bubash. Michael Joseph Byrne. Vanessa Cerda. Maria Elise Chamelo. Olivia Sislo. Diane Cooper. Bridget Creamer. Alexander Xavier Kukaru. Elizabeth Dang. Jasmine Diaz. Jessie Elizabeth Dixon. Claire Delaney Dolan. Emma Elmquist. Lauren Marie Erickson. McKenna Fairbairn. Marissa Farmer. Anna Fisser. Robert Louis Ganser. Emily Gibson. Kristen Godinez. Alexandra Gramp. Bianca Shanice Hairston. Macy Hassan. Jasmine Marie Hernandez. Courtney Jackson. Jasmine Jan. Deshauna Johnson. Emma Ann Johnson. Joseph Karamansky. Stephanie Lynn Kaiser. Jalen Kelly. Sana Khan. Caitlin Rose Knorr. Diego Lianos. Emma Lubin. Nicolette Macris. Matthew Martino. Haley McElwee. Kristen Micheletti. Michelle Mowry. Michaela Mosconi. Helena Necessary. Kristen Odorico. Nicole Pahalski. Alexis Parsons. Stephanie Lopez. Leanne Peitzman. Courtney, please. Yuradani Reyes. Catherine Perez Rhinesmith. Carly Rice. Caitlin Richards. Emily Roman. Molly Rosenstein. Bradford Rush. Nikki Safrakis. Evelyn Sanchez. Claire Signorelli. Nicholas Stochamel. Kelsey Taylor. Hunter Terrell. Megan Trongali. Ilse Velma. Margaret Walker. Brooke White. Juliana White. Emily Winters. Matthew Zader. Natalia Ziakowski. Congratulations, graduates.
The candidates for baccalaureate degrees will now be presented. Dean Newell will make the recommendations to President Rooney, who in turn will confer the degrees.
Will the candidates for the bachelor's degrees please rise? President Rooney, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Education, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees, including the Bachelor of Science in Education. The candidates have fulfilled all the requirements for their degrees, and I recommend that the degrees be conferred upon them.
Candidates, upon the recommendation of the Dean of the School of Education and its faculty, and by the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois, and delegated to me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I confer upon you the bachelor's degrees for which you have been recommended. As a sign of your new academic status, please move your tassels from the right side to the left side, and congratulations!
The graduates for all bachelor's degrees will now come forward by degree group to be recognized by name as directed by marshals. Dr. Vesna Shezovic, Clinical Assistant Professor of Teaching and Learning, will read the names of the graduates. Candidates who have not yet been taken out of their rows by marshals may be seated. Family and friends, please remain in your seats and hold your applause until each degree group has been recognized. Thank you for your cooperation.
Periodically, Loyola has a number of student athletes whose Division I responsibilities do not permit them to participate in the commencement ceremonies of their own schools. This year, we are happy to host these student athletes and degree candidates so that they may be recognized by their families and friends for their accomplishments. Receiving the degree, Marketing and Information Systems, Nicholas Shvetzik. Receiving the degree of Bachelor's, Chance Visse. Elamay Tamrati. Stephanie Pipalis. Sean O'Connell. Aneka Murrin. Nathaniel Knowles. Abigail Jacobson. Mary Grace Golden. Akhil Ghosh. Ian Cummings. Brianna Clifton. Blake Bicey. Anami Reimers. Taryn Cullings. Receiving the degree, Bachelor of Science in Education, Emily Akins. Sarah Ali, magna cum laude. Anthony Joseph Anderson, cum laude. Laiba Anis. Kellyanne Burke Basil, summa cum laude. Elizabeth Marie Beach, honors. Emily A. Blanchard, summa cum laude. Joshua Jordan Brockland. Elena Buranick. Maria Elisa Capellani. Regan Joan Cast, magna cum laude. Samuel Chapolis. Rachel Elizabeth Chapetta, cum laude. Ian Joseph Christofferson, cum laude. Max Rangel Clemente, cum laude. Margaret Ann Collins, summa cum laude. Chloe Elizabeth Cordell, summa cum laude. Julia Damon, summa cum laude. Emily Dennis, magna cum laude. Sophie Lee Elder. Kelly Marie French. Layla Galecki, summa cum laude. Katie Ann Goke, magna cum laude. Paola Gomez, cum laude. Gabrielle Margaret Gordon, cum laude. Zoe Parker Hamden, cum laude. Maria Hartas. Claire Ella Hossman. Chloe Michelle Jennings, honors, summa cum laude. Sophie Ann Caro, summa cum laude. Hassan Khalil, magna cum laude. Chelsea Janet Latshaw, cum laude. Isabella Leuzzi. Madeline Grace Matasaran. Madeline Mizera. Dominique Modori, summa cum laude. Gabriella Rose Moncher, cum laude. Nicole Elisa Pagan, summa cum laude. Isabel Diana Paisan. Savannah Rose Pacosta. Eduardo Palma, magna cum laude. Nathan Miracle Petitome, cum laude. Sydney Catherine Pochatek, cum laude. Lily Ann Poor, magna cum laude. Serenity Rosa. Valerie Sabadosa, cum laude. Skylar Marilyn Sanders, cum laude. Victoria Ann Scheidecker, cum laude. Julia Marie Skeim, cum laude. Lisa Marie Sinise, cum laude. Matthew Shiley, summa cum laude. Haley Danielle Short, magna cum laude. Nicole Lynn Soderland. Anna Devi Ahuja Stegen, cum laude. Isabella Elisa Suarez, magna cum laude. Kelly Tran, magna cum laude. Patricia Therese Valbuena, magna cum laude. Signe Weber, summa cum laude. Kelly Wu, summa cum laude. Catherine Zolads, cum laude. Congratulations to all of our School of Education graduates.
The candidates for the Master of Science, Environmental Science and Sustainability, and the Post-Baccalaureate certificates will now be presented. Dr. Nancy Tuckman, founding dean of the School of Environmental Sustainability, will make the recommendations to the president, who in turn will confer the degrees.
Will the candidates for the master's degrees and the post-baccalaureate certificates from the School of Environmental Sustainability please rise? This is our first cohort from our master's degree that's been able to do this in person, so it's really special to have you here. President Rooney, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Environmental Sustainability, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the master's degree, including the Master of Science. I also have the pleasure of presenting the candidates for the post-baccalaureate certificate from the School of Environmental Sustainability. The candidates have fulfilled all of the requirements for their degrees, and I recommend that their degrees be conferred upon them.
Candidates, upon the recommendation of the Dean of the School of Environmental Sustainability and its faculty, and by the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois, and delegated to me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I confer upon you the master's degree or post-baccalaureate certificate for which you have been recommended. Master's degree candidates, as a sign of your new academic status, please don your hoods. And congratulations, all graduates.
The candidates for the Master of Science, followed by the candidates for the Post-Baccalaureate certificate, will now come forward to be recognized by name as directed by the marshals. Linda Curtis, Assistant Dean of the Graduate Studies in the School of Environmental Sustainability, will read the names of the candidates. Candidates who have not yet been taken out of their rows may be seated again. Family and friends, please remain in your seats and hold your applause until each degree group has been recognized. Thank you for your cooperation.
Receiving the degree of Master of Science, Environmental Science and Sustainability, Colette Diane Bayless. Cynthia K. Boxerman. Anastasia Boutrine. Hannah Claire Cho. Laura Milena Cacoma Hernandez. Samuel Martin Doffenbaugh. Mia Alexandra De La Rosa. Brittany Daigle. Jenna Elizabeth Drolin. Michelle Claire Emerson. Kevin Erickson. Grant Joseph Gerwing. Caroline E. Hitt. Jordan Emily Kleeman. Thomas Andrew Knapp. Cassidy Joellen Kroon. Cameron Matthew McCoy. Shannon McWeeny. Megan Elizabeth Meck. Jenna Marie Milaro. Michael David Mora. Bridget Eileen Murphy. Maggie Elizabeth O'Brien. Lily Esmeralda Paxtis. Michael Edward Peterson. Eula Teresa Pinto. Elaine Elizabeth Simon. Carrie Ruth Smetana. Natalie Catherine Spetter. Jacob Barrett Stoner. Allison Renee Watson. Anna Olivia Viat. Micah Daniel Zaker. Kristen Zimmerman. Congratulations, graduates. Receiving the post-baccalaureate certificate in Geographic Information Systems from the School of Environmental Sustainability, Raquia Abdalia. Receiving the post-baccalaureate certificate in Sustainability Assessment and Planning, Shallon Garrett. Congratulations, graduates.
The candidates for baccalaureate degrees from the School of Environmental Sustainability will now be presented. Dr. Nancy Tuckman, founding dean of the School of Environmental Sustainability, will make the recommendations to the president, who in turn will confer the degrees. I would like to invite President Rooney and Dean Tuckman to the podium.
Will the candidates for the baccalaureate degrees from the School of Environmental Sustainability please rise? President Rooney, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts from the School of Environmental Sustainability. The candidates have fulfilled all of the requirements for their degrees, and I recommend that these degrees be conferred upon them.
Candidates, upon the recommendation of the Dean of the School of Environmental Sustainability and its faculty, and by the authority granted to Loyola University Chicago by the state of Illinois, and delegated to me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I confer upon you the bachelor's degrees for which you have been recommended. As a sign of your new academic status, please move your tassels from the right side to the left side, and congratulations, graduates.
The candidates for all baccalaureate degrees from the School of Environmental Sustainability will now come forward by degree group to be recognized by name as directed by marshals. Ms. Rachel Lehman, Assistant Dean of Undergraduate Studies in the School of Environmental Sustainability, will read the names of the graduates. Candidates who have not yet been taken out of their rows may be seated again. Family and friends, please remain in your seats and hold your applause until all of the graduates have been recognized. Thank you for your cooperation.
Receiving the degree of Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, Esther Grace Allen, summa cum laude. Alyssa Mia Barrios, cum laude. Molly Kathleen Bittner, summa cum laude. Brittany M. Brown. Teddy Bruin. Graham Clute. Sejal Prabkira Dinsa, cum laude. Helen M. Fournay, cum laude. Caitlin Marie Frumento. Jillian Rose Heinck, honors, magna cum laude. Lily Taylor Jensen, honors. Emily Michelle Lakomsky. Matthew Owen Lawrence, honors, summa cum laude. Julie Ray Melnack, cum laude. Stephen August Matz, summa cum laude. Brennan Michael McDonald, honors, magna cum laude. Madeline Grace Masika. Brandon James Mitchell. Alexandra Ann Osowski, cum laude. Shreya Patel, cum laude. Alessandra Sierra Pena. Grace K. Rao, honors, magna cum laude. Kathleen Marie Riley, honors, summa cum laude. Kelly Elizabeth Tanqueri, cum laude. Nicholas Paul Zellner, cum laude. Congratulations. Receiving the degree of Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, Conservation and Restoration Ecology, Richard Eugene Dahlhoff. Claire Hengesbaugh, magna cum laude. Mitchell Joseph McGreal, magna cum laude. Isabella Felipe Mendez, magna cum laude. Emma Elizabeth Menabroker, magna cum laude. Alexia Marie Scholl, summa cum laude. Juliana Catherine Savinsky, magna cum laude. Congratulations, graduates. Receiving the degree of Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, Environmental Health, Ashley Madison Zayed, magna cum laude. Congratulations. Receiving the degree of Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, Food Systems and Sustainable Agriculture, Nina M. Connor. Thomas Scott Shirley, magna cum laude. Congratulations, graduates. Receiving the degree of Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science, Public Health, Tess B. Polizzati. Christopher J. Simpkins. Congratulations, graduates. Receiving the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Policy, Margaret K. Bronick, cum laude. Ryan Scott Carlson, magna cum laude. Samantha Dalton, magna cum laude. Brian Alexander Dominguez, magna cum laude. Isabella N. Gross. Grace Hamilton. Lauren Nicole Hammett, summa cum laude. Nicole E. Hayes, magna cum laude. Madeline Sanford Kane. Gabrielle Hilda Katz, magna cum laude. Sophia Andrea Kostyuk. Spencer I. Lee. Catherine F. Mari. Olivia Rose Ochoa, cum laude. Olivia Margaret Orr, magna cum laude. Courtney Royackers. Matthew Thomas Shad. Summer Lauren Seligman, summa cum laude. Alexa Gabrielle Snyder, cum laude. Carson Nadine Swallow. Environmental Policy and Environmental Science, Elizabeth Irene Tilgis, honors, magna cum laude. Patrick John Walker. Sophie M. Wynemko, honors cum laude. Congratulations, graduates. Receiving the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Environmental Studies, Camille Lynn Braswell, honors cum laude. Nick Bisher. Olivia K. Crossman, honors, magna cum laude. Al Dines. Eric Engelhart. Claire Rouse Foley. Carly May Fournier. Chloe Lilliston, honors, magna cum laude. Nicholas John Link. Anna Lorraine Messina, cum laude. Sarah M. Nicolancy, summa cum laude. Michaela Ann Orico. Mary Catherine Osowski, magna cum laude. Yana Rokita, summa cum laude. Emily Ann Sands, magna cum laude. Sarah Yatunde Vanderpoy. Levi Richard Welch, magna cum laude. Alexis Natalia Yonan, magna cum laude. Congratulations, all graduates in the School of Environmental Sustainability.
Following the closing blessing, please join the graduates for a reception on the West Quad. We ask that you remain in your seats until all the graduates have exited the auditorium. It is now my privilege to invite Dr. Joanne Rooney, President of Loyola University Chicago, to the podium, who will offer a few remarks and a final blessing.
Members of the class of 2022, it has been a very long road, best described as riding a roller coaster through a dark tunnel, unable to see the steep drops and hairpin turns, not certain when you'll emerge into the light. Yet, you did it. You have graduated. Everyone join me in giving these graduates one more round of applause. Each of us, at various times throughout our lives, both sit upon the shoulders and follow in the footsteps of others who came before us. Just over 500 years ago, St. Ignatius of Loyola and a small group of colleagues made a pledge to each other. They vowed to study, work, and pray together. They pledged to propagate a faith that melded spirituality with deep inquiry, fostering that dynamic tension between formation of the mind academically with formation of deep spirituality and trust in God. When they founded the Society of Jesus and its educational mission and method, they did so in a spirit of intellectual and cultural openness that fundamentally shifted Christianity and Western culture. The Jesuits did not promote a blind, unquestioning faith. Their revolutionary approach blended spiritual and educational methods that opened hearts and minds to art and science, to reason and to rhetoric. Through deep inquiry, observation, debate, and discourse, they looked for God, God in all things. And they did this in service to others. Ignatius and the Jesuits created a system of education that integrated study and research, rigor and compassion, contemplation and conversation, with active engagement among the peoples, society, and cultures around them. In short, the Jesuits moved beyond the secure walls of the monastery to fearlessly engage with the world around them, to advance change, and to lift up those who suffer. Today, that same mission is entrusted to you and is embodied in you. Graduates, you are challenged to act, going to the margins of our society in service to the poor and underserved, and expanding the frontiers of knowledge to support that same service. You have embraced your Jesuit education not simply as a way to distinguish yourself in a career, but as a way to learn, to lead, and to serve in your place and time in this world. Now, on its face, this idea of service may seem straightforward and uncomplicated. It is not. I was reminded of this recently in a Western civilization class that I attended, taught by our own Professor Buchholz. Civilization, civilized society is, at its core, about community, about greetings and sympathy. As members of a community, we must be willing to reach deep within ourselves to engage with each other, not just via a video or a text, but face to face, human connection to human connection. It is about receiving each other and interacting on a personal level. The smile, the nod, the acknowledgement, the embrace. But along with greeting, we must also show sympathy, or a better description, true empathy. Committing ourselves to seeing each other, appreciating each other, and showing compassion and care. It is only then that we could be of real service, walking alongside and accompanying those in need. Recently, Pope Francis was much more direct, dare I say blunt, in his assessment, calling on each of us to put aside consumerism and self-centered desires to serve others. In a recent homily celebrating Mass for the World Day of the Poor, he stated, "Let us not waste our lives thinking only of ourselves, indifferent to others, or deluding ourselves into thinking peace and security. Instead, he said, we must look reality in the face and avoid the infection of indifference. The infection of indifference. As we emerge from the relative isolation of this pandemic, we are often struck and even consumed by all the sorrows and lessons we have endured over the past few years, even though we cannot undo the past. We also can become anxious and even overwhelmed when we focus on the future and all we need to do to address the urgent issues in our neighborhoods, communities, and across the world. But we cannot dictate the details of tomorrow. Learn from the past, yes. Contemplate the future, of course. However, equally important, what we must also do is be present in this moment. I urge you to regularly pause and engage with the present. Offer greetings and express empathy. Appreciate the beauty that surrounds us, the warmth of the sun, the uplifting sound of laughter, the vibrant colors of new spring growth, the melodies of joyous music, the smile of a child, the poignant stories of an elder. My sincere prayer for each of you is that your Jesuit education affords you protection against the infection of indifference, that you continue to explore, grow, and learn, moving toward a hope-filled future, serving where the need is the greatest. That you stay connected to the present, nourishing the good in your lives with love and optimism, sharing greetings, expressing sympathy. In these ways, you will be the difference and make the difference in all you do. As I close, I would like to offer one final gesture of respect and gratitude to each of you, graduates of the School of Education and the School of Environmental Sustainability at Loyola University, Chicago. I tip my hat to you. Congratulations. Graduates, we will ask you to please remain seated just for a moment. Everyone else, please stand if you are able and extend your hand over our graduates for a final blessing. The blessing is located on the last page of the program book and will also be displayed on the screens. May God bless you and sustain you on this, your graduation day. May the Creator of this vast universe keep you safe as you go forth from this place that has nourished your mind and soul. May the Almighty look upon you and give you success in all your endeavors, courage in your struggles and challenges, understanding in all that is new to you, wisdom to choose what is right and do what is good, perseverance in all you undertake, serenity in peace and knowledge that you are not alone, that you are loved. May the Lord of all look kindly upon you this day and forever. Amen.